What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're diving back in with some Destiny 2 news and updates. And so initially we got a new patch this week, we'll cover some of the changes there, but also players are discussing Guardian Games bugs, and Bungie say they plan to tackle very cheesy scores in the event, plus they clarify that yes, we will be seeing another Subclass 3.0 update in Season 17, which is very close now, but also talk about possible future characters or returning characters to the main story in Year 5, more TWAB confirmations, and a bunch of other stuff in the video. So as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, and if you do, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny content, and otherwise let's get into it. And so first up for the video today, let's talk about hotfix 4013. This went live in the game for reset. And initially for activities, Bungie say Guardian Games playlist activities now grant progression towards deep sight weapons and levels, but also that the title SMG will drop from medallion turn-ins. The higher the medallion, the higher the drop chance. The drop rate has been tuned to correct the issue, but also that the Guardian Games playbook has been disabled after an unintentional interaction with platform cards. I believe some of those changes actually went live server-side a few days back. However, for abilities, they say they fixed an issue that prevented players from successfully charging a Nova Pulse just after casting the Nova Warp Super. And on top of that, they fixed a problem where charging a Nova Pulse with low super energy would not consistently complete the attack. And finally, they fixed a problem where an interaction between Shiver Strike and Glacial Quake could allow players to generate infinite stasis crystals if combined with the Howl of the Storm aspect. And as a developer note, they say Shiver Strike will now cost the player's full melee charge immediately on activation. We understand that this is a slight nerf for the time being and plan to make additional adjustments in the future to address its potency. So that one taking a heavy nerf as opposed to any real tune-in, but it is something that they'll update in the future. Then finally for Ghost Shells, they fixed a problem where the Fettered Shell from the raid was not properly taking shaders. And lastly, the Dark Telemetry emblem now supports the raid metric category. So a few minor fixes and changes right there. Let us know any thoughts you have down in the comments section. But in relation to Guardian Games, somebody said no changes to revive medals. So Liana Rupert replied, we'll talk more about that here shortly. And she also clarified that the team are aware of various different exploits being used in the event. So it suggests a possible change right there, or an update from Bungie, but we'll simply have to wait and see. Up next though, one final clarification from Bungie developers, and Kevin Yanis from Bungie said that we are going to see one of the non-3.0 light damage typed subclass updates next season, and of course that will either be Arc or Solar. Just worth pointing out because some people are still discussing whether we're going to see another update in Season 17, but we have that absolute confirmation that yes, one of them will be updated. So let us know which one you think it will be down below. And moving on right here, there's some interesting discussion about some recent lore that we got in the game. And so these are the lore cards on the class items for Guardian Games this year. And looking at all the class items, there are some discussions between two Guardians. And they're discussing a particular character in the Botza district of the last city. And looking at the Titan class item, one of them says this guy is the only one I've ever met with 4 arms and no legs. His ghost must be a real joker. And so it starts to sound a lot like the spider. They also refer to him having a deep voice and a weird helmet, and that the character has fallen. And one of them also references weird porcupine dudes being around, which by the sounds of it could of course reference the spider's associates. So there's this loose suggestion that the spider was potentially safely smuggled out of the Tangled Shore, and is now active in the Botza district of the last city, hiding amongst the refugee fallen. Also looking at that lore, the Guardians having the discussion make reference to a piece of paper with the emblem of a big black spider. And so it kind of sounds like the spider could be hanging out in the last city somewhere. Although according to Paul Tassi at Forbes, behind the scenes Bungie have suggested that we shouldn't assume that this is Spider, even if it's meant to look like him. But given the references there, it certainly sounds like the spider. I guess the other possibility is that another character is imitating the spider, right? So it's definitely an interesting one. And given the fact that this is set up in the narrative in this way, it's quite possible that the character they're referencing, whoever exactly it is, they could potentially feature in the story in Year 5. So definitely give those lore tabs on the class items a bit of a read, and let us know what you think down in the comments section. Could be a bit of a tease to some upcoming narrative stuff right there. Moving on though, a little bit more clarification from Bungie, and Cosmo said, in the TWAB last week there were some formatting errors on the airborne effectiveness graphic. However, they fixed that, so to clarify, they pointed out that the airborne effectiveness penalty cannot go below 0 in the stat, and in most cases there is a linear progression from 0 to 100 stat, an exception being accuracy penalty angles on primary weapons, which is linear from 0 to 60. And they also say that airborne effectiveness will interact with accuracy perks, so things like opening shot apply to the airborne accuracy cone as before, but because accuracy while airborne is generally better than it was before, in Season 17 we'll feel the benefits of that a bit less. And then they talk about precision aim assist, and they say when grounded and aiming down sights, the full aim assist cone angle is used to determine whether a shot is a crit or a body shot. Then when airborne or hip firing, by default you only get crit if you're aimed exactly at the head. And while airborne, the airborne effectiveness stat grants you some forgiveness for this in the form of the precision aim cone. So looking at the images they provide, number 1 is a grounded crit, and your aim assist cone overlaps the head, but you're not aimed right at it, and you may get a crit. Number 2 is airborne with a 0 stat, resulting in a body shot. Your aim assist cone overlaps the head, but the center of your reticle is not on the head, so you get a body shot. Then for 3, we see airborne with a 60 stat and a body shot. Your aim assist cone overlaps the head, and your precision aim cone does not overlap the head, so you get a body shot. And finally, in picture 4, it's airborne with 60 stat and a crit, and we can essentially see it's much closer to the head. Your aim assist cone overlaps the head, and the precision aim cone does the same, resulting in a crit. And right there, the aim assist cone is the blue circle, the center point is the white dot, and the precision aim cone is the red circle. So it's kind of showing how the precision or body shots are calculated inside of the game engine, with both the benefits and the penalty of that aim assist. So interesting stuff. And there was a bunch more of that in the TWAB last week. But the final thing to discuss right here, of course Bungie have been involved with a couple of legal proceedings recently. One of them is against cheat makers for Destiny 2. And so Bungie took a firm called Aim Junkies to court, and they did it on the basis that the cheat firm were modifying their product. However, this one in particular was dismissed because Aim Junkies argued that its hacks don't actually use any code from Destiny 2, and therefore aren't in any violation of copyright, which is the angle that Bungie went for. And so unfortunately they weren't successful in that particular part of the lawsuit. However, there are other charges that are still being discussed, including trademark infringement and false origin claims. And so I'll link an article down below, just thought it might be something you were interested in. However, for today, that is everything we have to talk about in this video, guys. So if you've enjoyed it, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Also, be sure to get subscribed, especially as we get close to Season 17. There's going to be a lot of new info and stuff to talk about, so as always, I'll keep you all posted. One very final mention though, and over the past couple of weeks, me and a bunch of my clanmates have been taking part in the Guardian Games Cup, and essentially a bunch of different teams are involved, and we're trying to outscore each other in 2-hour slots. And so next week will be the final week of the event, and we'll see who scored the most, but also, via our team page on the Bungie Foundation site, we're trying to raise money for Direct Relief, who are one of the charities that Bungie work with. And $25 donations will unlock a pretty cool emblem called Guardian's Oath. So if you want to check that out, I'll link our team page down below. And thank you so much to all of you guys who've shown support so far. It really does mean a lot. And once again, cheers for tuning into the video. And whatever you guys get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.